my name is Bonnie. I'm the Crafty Connoisseur. This is not a new channel, but I'm kind of restarting the channel. I was given advice to maybe have notes in front of me because I do tend to forget some things and say a lot. So I kind of am a person who doesn't like to be criticized because it makes me very anxious. I have an anxiety disorder, and I don't, it's, what do you call it? You know, when you're criticized, and it's not for bad, it's for good. I can't remember the name, but anyways, but I still take it as bad because I am very hard on myself with my anxiety disorder. So it took me a while to get back into the stitching. I took a month off from stitching, and I just had to clear my head, so I did a lot of organizations and things like that. But for you who are new to my channel, my name is Bonnie. I think I might have already said that. I am the Crafty Connoisseur. A connoisseur is a person who likes to do all kinds of things, and I do all kinds of crafts, but mainly we'll talk about cross stitch. I would say 99%. I might mention 1% of my knitting and crocheting. The only thing I don't do is quilting. I've tried it, I just don't care for it. So that's the name. That's why my name is Crafty Connoisseur. I am a mother and a grandmother. I have 4 grown children. They're between the ages of 31 and 20. And we have 3 little granddaughters, and they are 7, 4, and Selena was just born in August. But I won't talk a lot about them. I will just stick to cross stitching. I don't like to talk a lot about my personal life. There was a lot of hurtful things that happened this year, or 2023, and it's just been a lot on me with my anxiety and different things like that. Cried a lot of tears and things like that. So cross stitching, and my wonderful husband David, we've been married 33 years, almost. In May, it'll be 33 years. Has really helped me make it through. It used to being just a couple again because we have no children in the house anymore. And in the next couple of months, our daughter will be married. And so we'll be getting a son-in-law. And if you hear anything in the background, that's my birds. I have birds that keep me company in here. I have a little toy poodle. And once in a while, I'll probably see my Sphinx cat. Her name is Evie Rose. Not Evie Rose. We have an Evie Rose Sphinx cat, but the one back here is Ivy Jane. And she sleeps up there. I have a set of drawers, and they're like steps, and they have beds in them, and she can sleep all she wants in them. I also have 2 aquariums. I have an axolotl, and I have a 21-year-old plecotomus. Most of you know them as algae eaters. You'll see them in the pet store, and they're pretty small, but he is at least, I'd say, 10 inches long. He's huge. We named him Methuselah. He came from a home where the lady didn't want him anymore. So that's one of the things we do, is we rescue parrots and different kinds of animals. So we have like a small farm in the city. But anyways, enough about me. Today was a different sort of day. We finally got snow, and I think this was the first snow that we have had in, I mean, significant snow to where it stuck. Probably 5 years, maybe. I mean, we've had flurries before, but never really any snow. Snow that stuck to the ground that you could play in and didn't melt right away. This is sticking. So, and if I didn't mention, we live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and so we didn't probably get as much as other parts of Tennessee, but we got enough for us. And my husband was outside in it all day. I went to college in Wisconsin, and my father was an air traffic controller, so we lived in Minnesota, and I'm just fine with being inside in the warm. So I thought on this snowy day, it would be probably the perfect day to do a little whip parade. I don't have a whole lot, and then tell you my plans for 2024. I know a lot of people did whip parades last year and have done some this year, and I know I'm a little late to the party, but I was trying to get everything together so that I could have a smoother channel and I could be smoother at what I'm doing, and to get the courage up to cross stitch, talk about my cross stitch again. I'm a very shy person by nature. I was one of those kids that didn't want you to hug me, didn't want you to come and touch me. I hung back. I clung to my mother's skirt. If you looked at me the wrong way, I would cry. But once I get to know you, I'll talk your ear off, and I'll talk to you about anything and everything, and especially if I really enjoy the subject we're talking about. And a lot of times I see people slinking away because I think I talk too much. So I thought I'd talk about where I've been since my last floss tube, what I have been doing. I went to 2 stitching retreats. I went to the Crazy Woman Stitching Retreat in Laramie, Wyoming, and I went to the Queen City Stitch Retreat in Charlotte, North Carolina. I really enjoyed them both. They were both very different. So that was fun, but I was just mentally wore out. I went to the Crazy Woman Stitch Retreat, and I stayed a week before and a week after with my friend Angie. We've been best friends since 3rd grade, and she lives in Cody, Wyoming. So we drove down to Laramie and did the retreat together, and then we drove back to her house, and that's just a lot. I enjoyed being with her. That was so much fun. We talked a lot about cross-stitching. I was showing her. I use Markup RXP for my cross-stitching, to mark my cross-stitching. And so, I'm sorry, let me get this real quick. I don't want to have the phone ringing. And so, that was a lot of fun. I would love for her to do a video with me. She's a little shy when it comes to videos, but we have a lot of fun together. And then I went to the Queen City Stitch Retreat, and my roommate was somebody I had only met once over Zoom, and that was pretty fun. I'm more of a night owl, and she was a day person, and so we had to work out our little quirks there, and then she had to leave early, so I had a room by myself for the evening. And so I met quite a few ladies and quite a few floss tubers that I watch, and got a lot of charts, got a lot of material, a lot of floss. And so when I came home from the Queen City Stitch Retreat, I mentally was exhausted. I have quite a few health issues, and it just took a toll on me. So I decided, rather than to cross stitch, I would take the month of November and December and get all my cross stitching things together and give myself a break from cross stitching. And get all my material together, all my flosses, figure out a new organization for my flosses, and figure out a way to go through my patterns and see what I was keeping and what I wasn't keeping, and went through, I have a whole cedar chest full of things, and you name it, I have it, and went through that, got rid of stuff, and organized all my patterns in a cross stitch like journal thing that is online. I think it's X Stitch, something like that. Anyways, I went through, and that took me at least 3-4 weeks to go through all my patterns, and that was a job. And then I don't think I have all my PDFs on there yet. And then my flosses, I made a master floss. And so I went through all my flosses and made a master floss set and organized all that, and just went through my sewing room, which I'm in right now, and I went through and organized, got rid of things I knew I never used, and I was just brutal about everything I did. That way, when I came into 2024, I knew right where my stuff was, what I needed, and also, you know, with my stitching slump, I just had to think in my mind, did I want to keep going with the whips I had? Did I want to quit cross-stitching? Because that came very close to what I was going to do. But then I looked at all the money I have spent cross-stitching and what my husband has spent on me and my children, and I just couldn't do it. And cross-stitching does relax me, but I have a problem staying awake during the day. I am very much a night owl. I don't stay up all night, but I do have a lot of health issues, and so I find myself falling asleep while cross-stitching if I do it during the day. So I had to be honest, and I am a Christian, and I prayed and asked the Lord what He would have me to do with my cross-stitch, and I prayed over my cross-stitch and bring a plan to mind so I could use the talents He's given me and not waste the money He gave me to buy my cross-stitching supplies. So I decided that I was going to start cross-stitching in the evening, and that meant I had to take my stands and move everything around and replace my stitching chair with the chair I had in the living room, and switch all that around, and that took quite a bit of time. And so I have decided, when my kids moved out, basically we had children right away. As soon as we were married, within a year and a half, we had a child. And we really didn't have any Christmas decorations or anything like that. And so when the kids moved out, all that went with them. And my husband and I were starting from scratch. And I just didn't have a lot, and I really don't. I have gotten some cute things from Hobby Lobby that I like, but don't have a lot of handmade stuff. The handmade stuff I have made, I've given away to family for Christmas, birthdays, stuff like that. So I didn't really keep anything for my husband and I. So I thought, what should I do? And I prayed about it, and I thought to myself, you know, I would really like to have some Christmas things. So I decided to take all of 2024 and stitch on Christmas things, and see if I can't get some of them finished, and I know I won't finish all of them, but see if I can't finish some, and then you know, put them on our tree and finish them. And normally Sundays I do not cross stitch at all. I take a break for my mental health and everything like that, and so I won't suffer burnout. And so I decided that this Sundays I'm going to start trying to finish things that I've stitched, and I'm not saying I will, because I'm really bad about it, but completing things for the stitch retreats has showed me that it's not quite as bad as it could be. And so, in fact, I really enjoyed it because I do sew. And so I decided I would try to finish some things. I have a box of things languishing, like everybody else probably has. So I thought I might take one thing a week and maybe try to finish it. And my husband, he is honorably discharged from the military, but he has a medical discharge, and so he's 100% disabled. And that means he's not employable. So he has expressed that he would like to maybe make my frames for me. He was a machinist. He also repaired car dies, things, dies are like cast molds, whatever, to make cars. And he repaired those. And when he became unemployable, he was not able to do that anymore. So he has expressed the interest of making me things. He made my stand I have right here. He modified a stand I had bought and made me a new stand. It kind of looks like a Lowry stand. And then I just basically tell him what I want, and he tries to make it. And he does very well for just starting out. And so I would like him to start making my frames for me. I think it is, I can't remember her name, but she's a librarian, and her husband goes and picks up picture frames and redoes them, and then they frame her projects. And my husband thought that'd be really neat to do, because we do go to Goodwill and secondhand stores. We have a Humane Society thrift store that all the money goes to the Humane Society. So, you know, we try to pick up different things there. And so he has expressed interest in doing that. And so I would like to try to finish things I've stitched and get them hung up or displayed. I am not one of these. Decorating is not. I can tell you what looks good together. I can put fabric together. I can put ribbon with something. I love that. But when it comes to finishing something, I am not a finisher. Not at all. I do not. Somebody can show me something and I can see it, it's gone. That is not my learning style. My learning style is I have to do and watch. So I am a visual learner and a tactile learner. I have to do both of those. And so just to go to the store and see something and envision it in my mind, it's going to be wonderful for this project I have and that project I have. No, cannot do it. It's not my thing. So it just boggles my mind. I have a sister that can do that, and her house is absolutely stunning. Mine is just homey. I have a homey where you can go and feel at home, and it just feels warm and comfortable in here, and that's my home. But if you expect a beautifully decorated home, it's not that way at all. I'm not cluttered, I'm very clean, but I just cannot look at something and say, hey, this is going to look good. And to ask my husband to do that, no, he just says, well, whatever you think, and that doesn't help at all. So, but I'm going to try. I'm honestly going to try and watch different videos and try my hand at different things. I bought a whole bunch of stuff to finish Christmas ornaments this past year that I had done for the cross stitch and the Daily 30. And did they get done? Didn't even get touched. So I determined this year, I bought all this stuff. I need to use it. I need to make wise use of my money and use some of these things that I have invested in. And I've invested my husband's money in. And, I mean, we share the money, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay, well, let's go into my WIPs for 2023. I think we'll start there. I think I've rambled on enough about where I've been and what I've been doing. I'm looking at my notes right now to make sure. This year, I decided, let me push you back a little bit. This year, I decided to pick up my Happy Planner again. And I make my own Happy Planner covers out of, I laminate, what do you call this? I know you're shouting at me. I laminate cardstock, and I try to do it seasonally. So this is my winter one, and I have the little tabs here. I'm getting ready to make my own tabs. I bought a tab maker, and I need to make my own tabs because these are falling apart. But I used this for most of the year last year, but I gave up on it. And when I started going to the retreats and things, and I just never picked it up again. And I need it because I need to see how much progress I'm making, and because I'm more of a process stitcher and I'm a slow stitcher. I have, like I said before, fibromyalgia, and I have rheumatoid arthritis in my hands, and I can't stitch past maybe 2 hours. And the way I was stitching last year, I was falling asleep, and that really cut in on my WIPs. But I did get stuff done. I forgot to bring them over here, so I'll have to show them to you next time. Hopefully I'll start making these maybe once or twice a week, or once a week. Once a week I want to try on Sundays or Mondays to get a new floss tube out. And hopefully I'll get better at not being so forgetful. But anyways, so I use I use this WIP Happy Planner, but I also downloaded a program called the Ultimate Cross Stitch Planner, and I bought it as a PDF off of Etsy, and that thing has been wonderful. I seen a floss tuber use it, and I forgot who it was, and she showed it, and I said, I've got to have that. That's exactly what I've been looking for. And there was a couple things that she didn't have in the Ultimate Cross Stitch Planner, but for the most part, if you need an Ultimate Cross Stitch Planner and you want to print out the papers, she has it. It's very nice. She has pages where you can put your, in fact, I'll show you one. She has pages where you can put your project details. So they have the design, the designer, the pattern details, you know, how the stitch count, what's the finish size going to be, you know, all this stuff. And then she has you write your DMCs down here. So this will help me a lot when I am looking at when I'm showing you my patterns. I think this is going to help a lot. And then she had a place where you put a picture, and I just printed this off on sticker paper and just cut them out and stick them on here. And then she has, like, you put how many stitching days you do each month on these, and your progress, you can color that in, and what you plan to finish it as, and the materials you need. And I mean, she has how much you enjoy this pattern. She has all kinds of things. What you were listening to when you were doing this pattern, where you were when you were stitching, what was happening in your life at that time. So it's kind of like a mini diary, and it's been very nice. And I just took my Happy Planner hole puncher and hole punched this in here. And then, like, for January, she has a monthly planner, as you can see here. And I just found some images I liked on the internet that were free, and I just did the sticker paper with them and decorated up my my planner with them. I, this year, am planning on trying to, since we are on such a strict income, I'm trying to use what I have. And a sticker book is not going to work for me. I just have to have, I have to be in control of what we have. And so I try to make the most of what I already have. And so those have been working out for me, making my own stickers. So I thought I'd tell you about that before we got into my whips for next year, or for last year. You'll probably hear some zippers if you have earphones on. I never understood why people apologize for zippers until I started wearing earphones when I was walking around the house getting stuff done, and I could even hear people's music playing in the background if they had children or movies, so you can really hear on those earphones, and I didn't realize that because you don't pick that up when you are, when you are listening with your natural ears. So anyways, let me go ahead and get this out. Hopefully I have these in order. Okay, so the first thing my first whip is, this is not the first whip. The first whip I have is Floral Fairy, and I will be putting these things back. I did get close to a finish with her, so in 2025 I am going to be finishing these, but this is from the Stitchy Princess, and I did it in the colors of the Ukraine. So I have the rest of her skirt to do, and then just these little flowers here, and I would be done. But I think she's turning out beautiful. And I won't tell you the stitch count or anything like that. I have it on my, I do put stitch cards in my bag. I got these off of Etsy too, and she already had the design and everything, and I just printed this out on my little sprocket printer I have. And so it looks like the last time I stitched on this was in November. So, and it's an enjoyable stitch. It's probably one I could finish real quick. So my next one I worked on was, and if somebody could help me out with this one, I would appreciate it. But I bought this. It is called Stitching Autumn from Twin Peak Primitives. And when I went to get I bought it as a PDF, and when I went to look for the PDF, it is not on Etsy as my PDF, showing I bought it, and they don't have it on their site anymore. And I don't think I have a physical copy of it. I need to look on since I organized all my patterns, I really need to look and see. But see, I'm almost done with it. Let's see. I'm almost done with it. I probably should have something behind it. But this is a pumpkin here, and then I had one more spool over here with little girls dressed up for trick or treat. And that's all they had left. And I really want to finish that next year, so I'm going to have to be on the hunt. I don't know if I should contact them. I know they're in the Netherlands or something like that. I seen that they still had their summer one up and their spring one up, but I didn't see their fall one. So I don't know what happened there, but I really like to get that one done. The next one I worked on was Little Dove Designs Spring. I seen the handwork, work, I think, Brenda, doing these, and I fell in love with it, so I decided to work on it, and this is what I got done. I started this in January, I think. Maybe my card will say, yeah, January, and this is how much I got done. I did 100 stitches most months. There was a couple months I didn't, but I did 100 stitches, and that's as far as I got, but really enjoyed that one. I think I just had a little puppy dog left, and I'd be done with the first little block. So that's another one that's going to be finished. Not this year, but next year, because I'm doing all Christmas this year. my next one, now I've been working on this one way too long. It should have been done a long time ago. It was for my grandbaby when she was first born, and I thought I'd have it done, and it looked really easy. It's the alphabet learning from the Soda Stitcher, and I love it. I love the colors. I like the little motifs. It isn't just your regular alphabet, you know, I think a child would be very interested in this because of the colors and everything like that. And this is, I forgot to mention, my daughter does dye my fabric. And so usually I'll have her dye just regular Aida cloth I've gotten at secondhand stores. I try to find, if I'm going to get secondhand cloth, which I was in a state of shock the first time I seen what cloth is going for now, because I haven't had to buy any. I try to look for Charles Craft, the old Charles Craft, because it's thick and it's nice and it's soft. So anyways, and I use mostly DMC. I do have some Anchor and I do have some silks, but I don't use them very often. If the pattern doesn't call for it, I usually don't go out on a limb. I do substitute things. I really, really do not care for what the pattern's calling for, but for the most part, I do what the pattern says. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So I'm right here on the father. I've still got all this left. And I started this in 2022, and it should have been done way before now. Oh well, she's not in kindergarten yet, so she won't know. Hopefully I'll have it done by the time she's in kindergarten. Maybe. Okay, the next one I have is Lavender and Lace Enchanted Alphabet. Now, I did change the colors on this, because from the picture, I just didn't care for it, and at that time, I didn't realize how beautiful they are in person than they are in a picture. So I have seen this stitched in person, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But I went ahead and I made it my own colors. So I did shades of purple, and I think it's turning out so pretty. I hope you could see that. But that's it, and I was right here. I'm almost done with her dress. Now that dress is a doozy. That is a major. It was almost done though. It's almost done. And then I'd have a little bunny rabbit left at the bottom of her dress, and then the rest would be alphabets, and I would be finished. So I love this stitch. I didn't when I first started it. I started it and restarted it. I started it 6 times. And I said, if it doesn't get right this time, if I don't do it right this time, I'm putting it away. And the reason I started it the reason I was having such issues is this is a pattern that you have to keep close eye on. You can't be wandering here and there and everywhere, and you will mess up. You have to pay a lot of attention to that one. Okay, my next one is Uncle Sam and Lady Liberty. It's a free pattern by Brooks Books. It's turning out so cute. I'm very close to a finish on this one too. I just love it. You'll see a string here in the front. I never turn my work around. I always stitch from the, let me see if I can put something behind it so you can see it. There it is. Always stitch from the front. And I guess you call it two-handed stitching. But Uncle Sam has some Kreinik in his hair. I'm trying to see it a little bit. And then Lady Liberty has some here and there. But aren't they cute? I just love their little faces. And I do not do, you can probably see it better from the back. Let's see if you can see the Kreinik from the back. Can you see it all shiny from the back? So that's my backs. anyways, I've had a lot of fun with this one. I really want to get it done, and I will. I will get these done next year. They will not take me very long. I'm going to see how this stitching rotation, this new stitching rotation I'm going to be doing this year is going to go. It's something new I planned, and I'm hoping it'll help me when I start these projects back up next year. Okay, the next one I have is Owls of Spring by the Soda Stitcher. I do like the Soda Stitcher quite a bit. I don't like her people very much, but I do like the animals. And it's this one. Let's see. I think it's this one. Yes. It is this way. And I'll put this behind it so you can see. And that's as far as I got. And this is the picture of it. Right there. And I'm just loving it. So all I really had is these little parts right here. And I'd be done. It's not a big stitch at all. It's 110 by 110. So that really should not have taken me as long as it has taken me. But I was trying to do where I touched every whip for 100 stitches a month. And then I got bored of that, and I went to where I was doing seasonal stitches. I didn't know what I wanted to do last year. It was just, I got a really bad slump. And so I was trying different things, and some didn't get as much as others. This one is Owl Forest Embroidery, Enchanted Forest. And I started this in 2022. It is a bigger piece, but I love it. And some of it I did switch out the colors. Like this right here. Right here, I thought was just a regular bird. No. This right here is a swan, I do believe. Well, now he's a red swan. He should have been a white swan. Oh well. But I just love these colors. Absolutely love them. And so that's as far as I got on that. Like I said, it is a big stitch. It's 248 by 117. That might not be big to some folks, but to me it is. And here's what it'll look like when it's finished. I'm probably about right here, almost halfway done. So, and then the next one is, it's called The Sea. Now this one should have been done a long time ago. Here's a project bag it was in. I make most of my project bags. I think I have a couple I got at the stitch retreats I've been to, but other than that, I make my own. This is called The Sea. It's by Little Fox Stitches, and I do not believe he still does, I don't believe they still have a store because they're Ukrainian. But I just loved, and this was such an enjoyable stitch. Like I said, I was all over the place last year. But here's the picture of what it'll be like when I'm done. So I'm right here. So all I have left is this little section right here, and that should take nothing. That should be nothing, and it should have been done. So there's that one. And by the way, this will probably be a little longer than most of my my floss tubes. I usually try to keep them to a half hour, 40 minutes at the most. I think that's a good amount. This is one I started in May of 2023. I realized I didn't have a whole lot of spring things. I had a lot of summer. I had a lot of different things, but not really anything like specifically spring. So this is Spring Showers. It's a freebie from, it's April Showers. I'm sorry. I call it Spring Showers, but it's April Showers, and I think it's by Brenda Gervais. I'm pretty sure. I just love the colors in that. And it just, I didn't put April up in the umbrella. I just left it out. But this is what it will look like when it's done. It's a freebie. I think it's so cute. So there's that one. I do believe I have only 4 more to show you. Nope. Well, maybe. This is Farm Girl Fall by Lori Holt. And I just fell in love with it. I seen it on somebody's sorry. I seen it on somebody's floss tube, and I fell in love with it. And that's as far as I got. I got the first square done. But I thought, oh, that'll be quick and easy. It is easy. Quick? No, not the way I was doing it. So this is what it'll look like when it's done. I think it's so cute. I'm an eclectic stitcher. The only thing I don't do is full coverage. I did try full coverage. Oh, that drove me nuts. The most full coverage I'll probably do is the lavender lace, and that'll be it. It's not even a full coverage, but that's as close as I'm coming. That was not good. Okay, this is called Sign of Summer, and I never did put a picture on this. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Should be right here because I'm right. Summer. Much I won't be able to find it. I do have, oh, that's up there. Oh well. It's just a sign that says summer on it, and it's got all kinds of motifs for the summer. I don't know what it went to. Let me look one more time, and then I'll quit wasting your time. Because I know it was here when I filled it. Here it is, of course. So here it is. This is as far as I got, and then I'll show you my little, it's not a good picture, but this is as far as I got. And I'm liking how it's turning out. And you'll see I put an arrow. Show me. I must have dyslexia or something, because I made so many mistakes of doing it this way, and then I end up not having enough room. So I have to put an arrow at the top. I don't know if anybody else has that problem, but I do. And so anyways, here is the picture of it, of what it'll look like when it's done. And so I'm right here. I thought it was so cute with little crabs and different little things. You can't really see it that well. But I started that in June, and it's only a 48 by 80, so there was no excuse why I didn't have that one done either. Okay, so the next one I have is, make sure I've gotten all, okay, here's one I forgot. This is called Arranging Lures, and I am doing custom colors on this because I could not tell what these were when I was stitching them, so I went online and I researched different lures, and I came up with these colors for it, and I put it on this blue. So let me put this behind it so you can see. I don't know what kind of lures they are. I'm sure my son-in-law would be able to tell me, but I really like the pattern, and here's the picture for it. I don't see very many people stitching this one, so I've done all of these right here. So I just have these little bits and this little bit and right here. So not very much. I don't think I put down how big it should be, but it's not going to be very big at all. But I just thought, I seen somebody had done it for their husband. I thought, oh, I love that. So I decided to do that one. If you hear dogs barking, my husband's letting the dogs out. Okay, so these two, this is my spring at Hawk Run Hollow. My daughter, for Christmas 2022, bought me all of the Hawk Run Hollows. and I was so surprised. And so I'm doing them, the spring one, I'm going to do one at a time. I'm not going to do them all on one piece of fabric. I like them like this. So this is as much as I got done. And I really, really enjoyed this one. This one I really focused on in November. I think there was something we were doing in the group I'm in, the Late Night Stitchers. And I put a lot of stitches in this one because this was like a monogamous piece. And this didn't bother me, these bricks. That didn't bother me at all. So I think it's turning out very well. And the best picture I can get for you was this one. So I finished, you know, down here in the little bird here. So basically, I don't have a whole lot left to do. I think you were supposed to stitch white all in these, but I figured because I was ready doing it like on a cream, when it kind of looks like a window with the lines there. So, and one thing you'll find about me is I hate borders. If I don't have to do a border, I don't want to do a border. So that does not have the border it should have around it. But like I said, I'm not doing them, you know, as one big piece. This is my other one, is Autumn at Hawthorne. And that's as far as I got on that one. But I'm liking them. They're a lot of fun to stitch. I like the colors and everything. And here's the picture for this in case you are new to cross stitching. Here's the picture. So I just have done the, let me pull that back a little bit. I've done just the roof. Let's see if I can get that in better, if it'll focus. It doesn't look like it's going to focus. So we'll just do that. I didn't do this up here. I might not. I'm not sure. Although I've seen it done and it is very cute. It's got a little spider, and so I might do it. I might do it. But I think I'm going to do these as individual, you know, and put them in individual frames. Michelle McGraw, I was watching her the other day, and she had some of the patterns I had, and she takes elements out of them and does different things out of them. And I thought that was a good idea, because there's some that I just don't feel like doing the whole thing. Okay, this was one I started. It's called Land of the Free, and I think it's turning out really pretty. You see the Kreinik in the... I think these were not supposed to... These, I am changing the colors on this pattern, because I really didn't care for the pattern colors. And I forgot who did this pattern. Bought it off of Etsy, but it was a... But see, they're just blue. And I wanted different colors for the fireworks. So I'm doing different colors, and I'm really enjoying it. The only thing is, I think I threw away, when I was purging, I think I threw away what colors I was doing in here. Not a good thing. And then this is the last one, and I don't think I did very much on it, if anything at all. I don't think I did. Let me look at it real quick. Oh, yes, I did. I did just a little bit. This is another one, and it's called 4th of July. I got it off of Etsy. I realized I didn't have enough patriotic pieces, so it's right here. So you have to do these flowers here, and they're going to say the 4th of July. So there's that. So those are all my, well, not all. I did finish, I think I might have finished 7 or 8 smaller ones last year, so I didn't do too bad. I started out, I think, with 25 whips, maybe. And I think I ended with, I don't know, I didn't count them. Maybe 15. So I might have finished 10. Last year, like I said, they weren't very big ones. I should have got them out because they're down there and I don't really want to move you out of the way and all that. But I got my temperature Quaker done from Stitchin' Mommy. I was doing, for Cross Stitchin' Daily 30, I was doing the Halloween miniatures. I had quite a few of those done. I did a January, I think I have it here, but it was the January sign from, oh, I can't remember. They got all the months of the year, and then they've also got the seasons. So I finished up January. I did a few other bigger ones I finished up. So I did get I got quite a few whips done last year, and I was very proud of myself. I was happy about that. So let's talk about 2024. Like I mentioned, I was in a stitching slump, and I just was not enjoying stitching anymore. I just wasn't. I think with there was a lot of family issues that came up, and a lot of learning how to be on our own again, and just a lot of things happened in 2023 that were very hard. A couple of our little pets passed away, and it just was hard. Mentally, it was hard. So I thought, like I said, I prayed and asked the Lord, what could I do differently? What would bring back my stitching? And when we put up Christmas, we didn't have a lot of Christmas ornaments and stuff like that. I thought, well, maybe I should do a change of my stitching. And so this year, I'm going to do nothing but Christmas. All Christmas. I love Christmas. A lot of people say it's commercialized and everything like that, and it is. But Christmas is what you make it. And I really enjoy like going out, seeing the lights, and getting together with family, and I love to give to people. And so that's one of my love languages, is gifts, to give to people. And I love that, thinking of the person I'm making the gift for, and how excited they're going to be, if they're excited at all, for what I'm making them, and then thinking of gifts of people, things people have mentioned through the years that they might not have remembered they mentioned. I try to secretly stash that away, and so I really like Christmas. I like the feel of Christmas. I like the songs of Christmas. It just brings a positive vibe for the beginning of the new year. And so that's why I like Christmas. And I thought, I'd like to stitch a lot of Christmas this next year. Not a lot, but a manageable amount. And so I have some small, some medium, and some large. And I went through and I looked at what I had already started as far as Christmas pieces go, and what I had wanted to start. And I started those. I decided I would start those up. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm putting them on a whip wheel. And I am stitching on each of them for at least 200 stitches a week. I'm trying. 200 stitches, not a week. Not a week. I'm sorry. I am trying to do 130 stitches a night. So I have, my change of plans is, because I fall asleep so easy during the day and I wake up at night, I decided I'm going to start stitching at night. And like I said, we moved everything around and I put my stitching stand in the front room, and I have really been enjoying that because I can stay awake and I can get uh, done in a reasonable amount of time. I'm telling you, I was doing a daily, the uh, temperature Quaker, I did that daily, and then I did a small piece I was doing the 30 a day for 5 days, except I made it 60 for however that was. Anyways, because I don't stitch on Sunday, you know, I made up for the day. So I was doing 60 stitches a day on a project that I wanted to get done. And then I also was doing like rotating whips. So I was doing 3 a day, and that was taking me 6 hours because I kept falling asleep, and I find I had stitched in the wrong space. I guess I was stitching while I was sleeping. I don't know if anybody else has done that, but then I'd have to tear it. I hated stitching. I was getting to where I absolutely hated stitching. I didn't want to do it anymore. So I thought, this has got to change. So I decided that I was going to start stitching at night. And during the day, I switched over to my knitting and crocheting. And I don't fall asleep while I knit and crochet because I can watch TV and I'm not falling asleep doing that. And so I'm finding I'm really liking it, and I'm getting quite a bit done. And so I'll show you those real quick. I'm going to stop this, change out my whips from last year, and show you what I'm going to be working on this year. Okay, I'll be right back.